Hi, my name's Michael, and I'd like to tell you how an accident has impacted and changed my life. One Friday night in 1988, I went for a drive with two friends. We had no plans and we weren't going anywhere, but like most 18-year-olds, we had a car, so we went for a drive. I fell asleep in the front passenger seat. I woke up 2 weeks later in intensive care. The driver wasn't concentrating. He was talking to the passenger in the back seat and drove straight to the back of a parked semi-trailer. I spent the first 2 weeks in a coma on life support. My parents were told the night of the accident that I probably wouldn't survive. And then 1 week later, they were told that if I did come out of the coma, I'd need 24-hour care. And I can't even start to imagine how they must have felt. My mum lived at the hospital for 2 weeks while I was in the coma, so not only did it affect my life, it affected my whole family. When I woke up, I was taken off life support, and I spent the next 2 weeks in and out of consciousness. When my condition stabilised, I was moved to another hospital and found out what my injuries were. I'd broken my little finger and fractured 90% of my skull, and the bump on the head is what caused all the problems. All the muscles in my right eye were severed, so I'm now cross-eyed and have double vision 24/7, and it will be like that forever. I've had 3 operations on my eye, and it still looks pretty bad. I've had 9 operations to fix a spinal fluid leak from my nose. The left side of my skull was taken off, and my brain moved out of the way so I could have a skin graft on the inside of my skull. The skin was taken from my leg, and I've now got a scar 7 inches long on my leg. When they put me back together, when they put my skull back together, my head was held together with 42 staples, and now I have to be careful not to bang my head into anything or it could kill me. But one good thing that happened, my hair grew back, so now you can't see all the scars. After 12 operations, you have to expect a few complications. I had to have a tube put down my spine and around into my abdomen. That became infected, and I ended up with meningitis and another week in intensive care. When the doctors removed the tube from my spine, they broke a needle off in my back, and 17 years later, it's still there, and it will be there for the rest of my life. The risks involved to take it out are far worse than putting up with a needle that stabs me if I don't sit up the right way or I move the wrong way. And that needle will be there for the rest of my life. I also have epilepsy and need regular medication, and I will be like that forever. I have no feeling in the right side of my face. I've got memory problems, and I had to learn how to read and write again. Alright, when you're stuck in bed all day and can't go anywhere or do anything, lots of crazy things go through your head. You can talk to psychologists, your family and friends until you're blue in the face, and no one will ever understand how you feel. So this is something that you will have to deal with on your own for the rest of your life. After almost 2 years in hospital, 6 months of that in a wheelchair while I learned how to walk again, I got out and I thought to myself, it's finally over and I can get back to my normal life. I could go and finish my apprenticeship as a motor mechanic, but because of all my injuries, I couldn't go back. I was too much of a risk. So I'd spent 2.5 years learning a trade and doing an apprenticeship that I couldn't do anymore. And all those friends of mine, they stopped calling and they disappeared, because now I was a different person. They didn't know how to treat me, and sorry. Right, yeah, so my friend stopped calling and I just lost contact with him. So there I was, 20 years old, no job, not many friends. And believe it or not, I didn't do anything wrong, but I also had my license taken off me, so I couldn't drive anymore. And I spent a lot of time watching TV by myself, feeling pretty sad and lonely. And these injuries will never get better. And every time I open my eyes, I'm reminded of a car accident that I was a passenger in. And it doesn't stop there. Recently, I had a seizure. I fell over, broke the fall with my jaw, broke my jaw in 2 places, broke 4 teeth. My bottom teeth were sticking through my lip. And I had to pull my lip off my teeth so that I could call myself an ambulance. These things will never get better, and they are things that I will just have to put up with for the rest of my life. When something like this happens to you, I don't care how big and tough you think you are, you will cry yourself to sleep on more than one occasion. I can also guarantee that an accident will change every part of your life. Your friends, your family, your jobs, and most of all, it will change you. About 5 years after my accident, Centrelink put me through a course and I became a personal care attendant. I do have some experience and knowledge about what happens to people after a head injury. And for the first time in a long time, I actually felt as though I did fit in. And actually, I made life a bit better for a few people. And personally, I feel that I'm one of the luckiest people alive. I've looked after people who've been in minor accidents, hit their head on the steering wheel, knocked themselves out for 10 minutes, and now they can't feed themselves and they don't remember who their parents are. It doesn't have to be a serious accident to change the rest of your life. So after the injuries that I sustained, and I can still function a relatively normal life, I'm very, very lucky. Please look after yourselves and your friends out on the road. You only have one life, so enjoy it. Don't make things hard for yourselves. Thank you.